Good morning. We are on day 2 up here in New York at Bill Dragus Chassis Works, trying to get this car squared away for PRI. I think that's like only a week and a half from now. So on the last video, we got the engine and transmission finally in the car at its resting place. And today we really have to figure out how are we gonna mount everything on the front end. This thing is coming out absolutely gorgeous, and we ended up moving the entire engine position, I think like a total 2 inches forward. Just look at this. This is absolutely wild. It's been tripping me out all morning. You have the center line of the axle right here, and the entire engine and transmission is basically over the front tires. That's killer. So we got a bunch of room in here to mount intercooler. Well, actually not a lot of room. We don't have enough room to mount everything we need to put in here. But we're gonna start some brainstorming. Russo's already going through the big box of Vibrant stuff to figure out what we got to work with. And time to start cutting stuff up, fitting stuff in. We got the intercooler laying flat in here. This is kind of where we're thinking about putting it, but we're gonna go ahead and stop working on the ground, put this thing in the lift, and we're gonna see exactly how light this thing is, because I think our idea is that we're just gonna drag the rear end around. So let's see if we can actually. So I'm totally thinking about doing something pretty stupid, because this car's already retarded, so might as well make it more retarded. Is basically mount the turbo outside of the bumper, like probably like a clean 6 inches out of the bumper. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? The turbo falls off? We run it over? I mean, it'd be fine.
It falls off the new one, right?
You know, your head's about the size of the turbo. Put your head right here.
Be like right here?
No, a little lower. Yeah, there you go. Someone grab your tape measure. Measure that up real quick.
Measure my head up. Yeah, it'll fit.
Spot it in.
Yeah, it looks good.
So big thanks to Jason Smuck Built. He had these pre-built intercooler tanks already sitting on the shelf. He went ahead and sent them over. And basically, we'll get these things tacked up. But it should sit just about like that, and that will allow us to do a, there we go, we can basically do a back door, or we can maybe even feed into here depending on how much room we have with a Vibrant engine. But I think that's gonna fit.
No, you stab me.
You know, like that idea. This guy was telling me, I guess it's like real estate design. It's like real estate design.
Sick shit.
Yeah.
It's not design.
There we go. We got a full intercooler, Vibrant intercooler with Jason Smuck in tanks. But now it's time to throw this in the car and figure out where we are going to be able to actually put a turbo. So currently right now we are working on trying to get the old fuel cell mounted back up in the car. Bill is underneath the car mounting up the intercooler. And then we picked up one of these really nice Vibrant anodized fill caps, and basically gonna just plop that over there in that corner over there. All right, what do we come up with?
We made a little S-bend. Stuff Vibrant gave us. They give us enough material to do this like a million times over.
No kidding.
So this is real nice.
Oh, where's the fill cap? That's coming out good.
Oh yeah, we'll see if we got the right height now. If we like the height and the distance from the body.
Look at that.
And make sure that's the proper way. Still have some swing if we want to give some more room. So we're not struggling with the cap or trying to actually, when we fill it with gas.
That looks good.
Like
I like that. Nice save.
got it on.
Almost scratched my brand new cap, man.
Ah, scratch a brand new paint.
right, so we got a new Dash 12 return coming into the tank. Our nice hole for our fuel inlet. All we gotta do is do some more tack welds and go ahead and throw that thing in. There we go. Check out the new fill neck for the fuel cell. That looks beautiful. I like that. All right, guys. Well, Bill let me use his welder to patch up this fuel cell. And, you know, hey, I'm getting a little better. My aluminum skills are definitely not anywhere comparable to a real fabricator, but I was able to get this thing patched up. We just have some final little welds right here to take care of. Bill is working on a set of turbo mount tubes, and then to update you guys over here, we have the intercooler fully mounted over here, and right now we are picking up on the turbo location. This is the old charge pipe that we had on the old turbo kit using one of our Vibrant engines, and it actually comes out to a really good location, so we're probably going to end up reusing this and just cutting the end off of this and then running it straight down into the intercooler right here. So we are working on mounting the turbo right now. The minute we get a turbo propped up in there, I can't wait to show you guys what we're doing. Dead center.
I think the turbo should like all that air.
Yeah.
Got a giant hole in the bumper.
We're gonna be missing half of the front, half of the car up front. So guys, as you can see by our little turbo mount, we are putting this thing literally right there. And not just like right there where it's gonna be tucked under the bumper. I fully expect half of this turbo to be out of the front bumper, which is pretty cool because it basically acts like a weight ballast because we're putting a 40-pound turbo way far out. So that'll help us just a little bit. But one of the big deciding reasons I ended up doing this was because we moved the engine so far forward that if we were gonna mount the turbo, say somewhere in this area, the downpipe or the exhaust outlet would end up sitting like right here. And I mean, we already don't have a whole lot of room anymore since we decided to do a mid plate and a motor plate with the intercooler laying right here. We just don't have a whole lot of room to run a lot of exhaust pipes. So what better way to make room than to make the turbo outside of the car?
Somebody's gonna have to do
We'll
that.
probably have to have two people holding it, right? Holding that one too?
No, I figured we'd do this after. I was thinking
We could have Russo hold the other side.
You grab a hood and tack that bar on there first.
Okay.
I'll take the bumper off.
All right.
And then level that thing or whatever. And gotcha. You stand on that side and tell me when I'm square like this, or he'll tack it. We'll go where he is.
But do you have that other bar foot?
Not fully.
Not fully.
We're gonna square like this, get ready to tack.
Or I could not tack it like this. So let me just get the other one prepped and we'll make sure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
Sandwich it?
yeah, sandwich it together and then whatever looks square is square.
Whatever looks square is square.
Yeah. Don't you like my catchphrase?
What is this, fucking Sesame Street?
Lock that up. Look at that, boys. That sucker is out there. Yeah, that looks good. After this, we just have a lot of plastic to cut. A lot of plastic.
Big old hole.
A lot of big. You got a 10-inch hole saw around here?
I'm gonna just hit it with the sawzall.
Just cut it in half.
Two-piece bumper?
Yeah.
Yo, hey, I said it, like, we'll be the first person with a two-piece front bumper. You good?
Yep.
laid a little small beat for you. Like I said, tack weld it. Sorry, boss, I just had to go ahead and finish her off. Oh yeah, I think the whole, we take the exhaust housing off. Guys, this is absolutely nuts. Just freaking look at it. It looks cartoonish. It looks sick. I mean, it looks funny, but functional at the exact same, like the same. I'm speechless. Like I really have, like, I'm speechless. I mean, that is just.
And we are seriously 99% putting it there, so.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's done. This is not like for the video. Like this is, it's going there now. This is not clickbait. Totally not clickbait. So there is a rule in drag racing that you cannot have anything past 45 inches of your axle center line. So that keeps, basically, you have a tripper at the end of the drag strip that trips when you cross the line off of like your front bumper. Well, people's front bumpers are different lengths, so to make everybody basically fair, they allow 45 inches. Well, my front bumper I think was like 37, so we had some room to grow. Well, that turbo is exactly 45 inches in front of the front axle. So we just made a turbo a beam tripper. All right, Bill is over here working on the exhaust going underneath the motor. Meanwhile, my job is get the bumper clearanced for this turbo now. This thing sits way further out here, so we're gonna have to take a big chunk out of the bumper to get this thing to fit. The unfortunate news is this bumper was literally just repainted maybe 7 months ago. And now we're just gonna cut a big freaking hole right in the center of it. So I got some marks. Got a mark right there, a mark right there, and 2 marks right here. And basically the idea is I'm just gonna cut a hole basically somewhere and then put it back on there and redo it. So let's ruin a bumper. Should fit like money.
Who's money?
Like Green Benjamin.
The next morning.
All right, guys, it is the next morning. We ended up crushing this thing out to about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. We are absolutely exhausted. It is right now about 9 o'clock in the morning, the very next day. I put down the cameras, but I got some updates for you guys. Look at that. We ended up mounting the turbo all the way out here, and it ended up being perfect. You got the compressor housing right here. We'll toss this guy on. Got the turbo right front up center, and then underneath, Bill absolutely crushed it with doing the turbo merges. So we got the rear manifold right here, the front manifold that swoops into here, got a nice clean merge with a 3-inch up pipe going to the turbo. So it is starting to get real busy underneath here. And following it from up top, we come across the top of the intercooler, right into there. We got a bunch of pies that we're gonna have to clearance out the bumper just a little bit more right here. And that's gonna wrap up the second day, or the second video here at Bill Dragus Chassis Works. We got a lot more to do coming tomorrow, so I'll get another video put together for you guys. The next video is gonna be spicy.